I want to bring in now House Majority Whip James Clyburn, Democrat from South Carolina. And I'll just say this right off the top as we welcome you to this hour, Congressman, that you are credited so much with not just Joe Biden's victory, but also just being the nominee because you delivered the black vote in South Carolina. I want to talk with you in a moment about that, but let's start here. The conflict that's being reported on within your Democratic Party. Who decides the priorities for Democrats? Is it the far left and Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, and others, those congresswomen and others, or is it Joe Biden?
It is Joe Biden. Thank you so much for having me. But Joe Biden is the president-elect. He ran a campaign laying out for the American people what to expect from a Biden administration, and now he's going to put together a staff, a cabinet that will reflect what he wants his administration to be about. He's not going to listen to me, and I'm not going to offer him any suggestions unless he asks for them. So he is the one that's been campaigning all over this country for the last several years. He's been vice president for 8 years, been in the Senate for more than 40 years. So he knows this country very well. I know him very well, and I will trust his judgment.
You know, I have to press in and ask, because the Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been on camera talking about how she and others will push Joe Biden. I almost hear you talking directly to them when you say, wait to be asked. Am I wrong about that?
Yes, you are. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I try to lead by precept and example. And so anything you hear me say, I think you're going to see me act that way. And back when we were trying to get a nominee, a lot of people in the media kept pressing me on what I thought or did not think. I resisted that, and I will continue to resist that. I just believe that when you put a candidate out there and he or she is successful, and in this instance, he and she have been successful, let them put their cabinet together. And that's all I'm going to do.
You know, you talk about the difference that you personally will make, and you certainly can do that. I'm wondering, because I know you have friends across the political aisle, nearly 71 million Americans, and we're still counting votes, said that President Trump wasn't just their choice, but that they believed in him, and they still want him to prevail legally. However that could happen, we don't know. But we're following the story, obviously. What do you say to them? What do you say to them? How do you reach those people? Because when I hear you saying that Biden's not going to listen to the far left, I know from my own reporting with people that that's a sigh of relief, because he's going to be the president, not AOC or some of the others. But what's your message to all of those Trump supporters?
To begin with, nearly 75 million people voted for Joe Biden. And the last time I checked, 75 million, more than 71 million. So I think that Joe Biden has an obligation to do what he said he was going to do, and that is run as a proud Democrat, but govern as a proud American. And that's what he's going to do. Now, you know, even within families, you will have disagreements on how best to approach any one question. And so I look upon our caucus as a family. My congressional district is different from the congressional district next to me. I share 6 counties with Joe Cunningham. He just lost his election, re-election, because people felt that they wanted a change. I just won my re-election with better than 65% of the vote. So what's the difference? The difference are our constituents. So I need to reflect my constituents. He needs to reflect his. At the top of this program, you said you've given me credit for delivering Joe Biden's victory. No, I reflected.
Oh no, we've been reporting that you get that credit.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about who you delivered. I hear all of that, and I understand it. But we are at such a tender point in our country. I thought that there might have been a thank you to those 71 million voters who engaged at the rate that they did, because it is impressive no matter which man would walk away with the presidency to bring us all together might have been there. I want to get to this, though. 8% of black vote for President Trump in 2016. We're still counting votes. It looks like about that much, if not a little bit more, according to our brain room. What do you think needs to be done under a Biden presidency to reach out to black voters now? And you know them so well because you delivered so many for this president-elect.
I reflected the black sentiment. I didn't deliver anybody. What I expressed in my endorsement was what I gathered from people that I represent. And I told everybody, and all morning I've been saying it, Mrs. Jones, sitting on the front pew of that church in St. John's Baptist Church down in Richland County, South Carolina, she is the one who it impressed upon me that the community wanted to hear from me. And I took her at her word. So I didn't deliver anybody. I expressed what was a thought in the black community, and that's the way they voted. So I don't look upon this as being Democrats versus Republicans or the 75 million versus the 71 million. I see this as a reflection of the United States of America, the people who want to continue a pursuit of a more perfect union. As a person that you can look at and know that this country has not always given credit to. Certainly didn't give it to my parents. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that we pursue perfection in this country, get back on the road to respecting everybody, irrespective of how their skin may be colored or their gender, or whether or not they came to this country 10 years ago or 10 or 2 centuries ago. That's what this country is all about. And that's what I'm trying to work on. I want to leave this country better for my children and grandchildren than it was for my parents and grandparents.
Congressman James Clyburn of South Carolina, appreciate your time always on the program. Thank you.
Thank you.